Sustainability has become a massive trend amongst both consumers and businesses. It's an area that all of society is trying to tap into, put their 2 cents in, and help contribute to. But little do they know that being environmentally friendly and using environmental products are not necessarily things that are sustainable. The concept of sustainability is often largely misconstrued by both businesses and consumers. Sustainability is something that can be defined a multitude of ways. You've got the way consumer bases look at it, you've got the way businesses look at it, and then you've got the way society as a whole looks at it. It's something that's always going to have someone's 2 cents in it, and someone's who believes it's better and someone who believes it should be this way. It's a conversation starter, to put it frankly. But the baseline is sustainability is the ability to maintain something at a certain rate or level to avoid the depletion of natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance. And this is something that is largely misconstrued by consumers, by businesses, and by society. It's not just using environmental products or being environmentally friendly or not using plastic bags and using reusable shopping bags. Don't get me wrong, all these things are amazing and I think we should be doing it way more. With massive shifts in consumer trends and demographics, especially in today's society, there has been a massive growth and push in environmentally conscious consumers or conscious consumers. They are a consumer base that have become largely more aware of environmental factors and the impacts that businesses have and how they utilize their wastage, and it's down to the resources that they utilize or don't utilize. Consumers are largely more aware of what's going on behind the scenes of what we buy. And with this change, consumers are wanting a change from businesses as well. They're wanting businesses to become more transparent, more open, so then consumers can trust them and they can build this long-lasting consumer-business relationship. It's things like these that have aided in the creation and the push of an original business model of B2B, which is business to business, to transform and emerge this whole new concept of how businesses interact with their customers, creating a B2C concept, which is a business to consumer, which is also not an uncommon thing. It's utilized, it's how businesses get to know their consumers and all of this. But what I'm talking about is the shift in consumer bases have caused a shift in the way consumers want to interact with their businesses. So instead of the traditional model of a B2C, you've got this whole new model of consumer to business. You've got consumers telling businesses what they want and how they want it, and you've got consumers creating the initial communication with the business rather than the business making the communication. So instead of businesses making the touch points, you've got consumers making the touch points. And this is all largely due to the technological era that we are now living in and how fast-paced news can get from a consumer to a business or from a business to a consumer. And these changes are not following alongside the shifts in sustainability and environmental development. Businesses that claim to be environmental or claim to be sustainable, when you research it, you can't actually get down to the baseline of what they're actually doing and how they're implementing it. If you Google any top tier business name, I dare you to go do it now. I bet you under their business name on the Google search, you'll have a bit down the below that explains what their business is. And in the first sentence, it'll say something about sustainability or environmental friendliness or awareness or whatever terminology they choose to use. But then when you click onto their website and you go deep and you go into their about section, you can't actually figure out how they're being sustainable or the initiatives that they're implementing into their day-to-day business practices to become sustainable. Sure, they might be environmental, but this is exactly what I was saying before. Environmental, sustainability, two completely different things. Sure, they're both amazing, but this one, sustainability, is often largely misconstrued. But environmental is something that's been around longer, and it's easier for consumers and businesses to be like, oh, yeah, we're environmental, we've reduced our plastic wastage. But sustainability is not just about reducing plastic wastage. It's about getting rid of plastic, using paper bags, and using resources that we currently have, but not using them to a point where they become depleted and you can't use them anymore. Sustainability is using resources that we currently have and that we will continue to have without ruining it. It's like the whole line of production. So, engineering a car. You've got the designer, you've got the engineer, then you've got the parts, then you've got the mechanics, and then you've got the car model. It has to go through 3 stages. But with sustainability, it's not, here's our initiative to reduce our waste and reduce plastic. It's just an easy example, sorry. And then you've got, we're charging you 10 cents for a plastic bag, like Pack and Save. To then having New Zealand still having a large plastic wastage problem. It's not a sustainable thing. If you look at places like Britain, Taiwan, Kenya, Bangladesh, China, are all currently plastic bag free, and this is something New Zealand should have caught on to, being a little old country that's clean, green, and we enforce all these things in our marketing abroad, but when it comes to the baseline of living here and experiencing it, Pack and Save, sure, you charge 10 cents, good job. But what else are we doing to encourage consumers to stop the usage of it? It is so easy for consumers to say, yeah, I'm a sustainable consumer. I only buy environmentally friendly products. I only shop with businesses that have a sustainability plan in place. But when it comes down to it, consumers actually do the complete opposite. The price and quality tend to be a massive conflicting factor. Price, yes. Quality, And especially for my demographic, I'm a student. I am 2 part-time jobs. I'm always going to go for the cheaper option, no matter how much thought I put into it. And I'm like, yeah, I know that the business is doing a sustainable thing, but I have rent to pay, and at the bottom line, the cheaper option still does the same job. But when I do have the money, I do try, but as a consumer, it's easy to fall into this is cheaper over quality and what the business stands for. And a lot of businesses don't often say that they're environmentally friendly and sustainable and they have sustainable practices in place. It's something that businesses are slowly getting into. It's kind of like a snail effect. It's started from the top and it's slowly trickling down to the bottom layers. So if you look at places like Countdown and Pack and Save and Glassons or Foot Locker or things like that, like they're middle to bottom line of where it's going to get to, and consumers are going to catch on to that, but it's going to take them some time.